a new perspective and in a new way, and to look at Judy cumulatively, and to be able to be grateful for everything she did, and to be grateful for all that she left. There are so many entertainers that we hear about from the early 20th century that were supposed to be so wonderful, and there's maybe an old Victrola record and a bit of silent film, but with Judy we've got absolute concrete proof for 40 of her 47 years, from 1929 to 1969, what she looked like, what she sounded like, how she performed. And the fact that we can review that now at will, thanks to YouTube, is a glorious thing. I was thinking too, there's one other thing that I was remembering as I sat here, a radio interview that Judy did toward the end of her life, when the interviewer asked her quite pointedly, but not aggressively, Judy Garland, do you believe in God? And she said, without missing a beat, of course I believe in God. I've always believed in God. And he said, why? She said, because I've been so protected. And my children have been so protected. It would be foolish not to believe in God. And that denotes a faith. The people who knew her said that you would be surprised to walk into her home in London, those last 6 months of her life, and see among the books a very well-read Bible, and that she knew it, major parts of it by heart. It was just something that she would cling to, and you would see her pictures on an airplane, because she was terrified of flying at first, and she'd be holding a Bible, and pictures of her kids, and that was the center of her real world. And if indeed, as we have been taught, God is love, then she's one of the greatest exponents of all of that there ever was. I know that one of her last TV appearances, and this is the last thing I'll say, because my mind keeps connecting this one thing, I'm sorry. One of her last TV appearances was on the Merv Griffin Show as a guest in December 1968. And she was on the dais. She came on the last after Toady Fields and Arthur Treacher and Paula Prentice and Dick Benjamin and all these other people, Jackie Vernon. And she sang and she sat down, and the audience, all New York fans had crammed the theater and were hooting and hollering like crazy. And they came back after a commercial break, about midway through her interview, and Merv got up and went over and picked up a bunch of flowers that had been tossed over the balcony rail for Judy, and he gave them to her, and she thanked the kid, and it was kids, you could hear the youth in their voices, and they went on, and then Toady Fields interrupted and said, but Merv, wait a minute, this fell off the flowers, this is the card, you got to hear this. And it said to Judy, and it says, you are the greatest love symbol to youth today. And if you read YouTube comments now, you will see that they're very much from young people who say exactly the same thing. And they'd be watching Judy at her best at MGM, or at her best on TV, or on a rough night on the Sammy Davis Show, and it doesn't matter. She's all about love. And all about love is why we are here, and why Mr. Miner and Ray and John Kelch and so many other people, and now Janie, have made it possible for us to assemble. And I used to say this in one of the lectures, but it was flippant. And I say, I don't, as the Wisconsin from Lutheran, no, he's not tired at all. As the Lutheran from Wisconsin, there was just this sense of family here, as you all know. But there's also that quotation, and I said, I do not mean this irreligiously, or blasphemously, but whenever two or more are gathered together in my name, that's what we have here. And that's why it is so wonderful at its best, because, again, you go back to God is love, and one great branch of that since 1922 has been Judy Garland. So here is to love, and here is to Grand Rapids, and here is to the lady who continues to make it all possible. God bless her.
God bless her.